I have a guest, as you can see. I thought I could, be sophisticated and cast it on. No, I couldn't. But I wanted to restore this one to some semblance of decency. There you go. That's not bad. Like this. Okay, I mean, gosh, look at that, guys. Is that a mosquito? Gosh. Hello, my name is Yewande. Welcome to Knitting the Blues. I am recording this in the evening. My children are asleep. I'm actually sitting on the floor. I have a guest, as you can see. And this is going to be a little bit of a rambly episode. So if you're someone who likes those, settle in. If it's not your vibe, thank you and bye. I wanted to come onto the podcast and talk about my plans. It's not a very organized, these are my plans, boom, boom, boom. It's kind of like, I'm wondering, I'm thinking. I will be talking a bit about what's inspiring me for certain yarns. I'm going to do a bit of a yarn tour, and I'll explain what it is we're touring. And I will also talk about, so this is not like a very kind of, this is what I'm going to do over the next while. It's more that these are a bunch of yarns that are hanging around that I want to do something with. And I'm not sure, but maybe this, but maybe that. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, it's just going to go in no particular order. Maybe I should just explain why she's with me. I know her hair's, I could have brushed her hair. This is my doll from when I was, or one of my dolls. I had dolls, and my parents were quite sweet about getting dolls that looked like me. Well, her hair is not quite as curly as mine, but I did have another doll that's not here now, whose skin was really, really dark, this beautiful deep black color, and her hair was seriously kinky. And I learned to plait hair on that doll's hair. And I named that doll. Her name was Yinka. I don't think I named this one, so but she stayed with me, and I gave her to my sons when I had them, and they love her. And she's here because one of my sons says she needs clothes. And he saw, this is going to be a bit messy, but he saw, as in I'm going to be a little bit all over the place, but he saw this swatch and he said, oh, can I have it? And can you make something for her with it? And then I realized, hey, I could use a bunch of swatches. So I've got my swatches here. And I could, I'm not going to do anything elaborate like knit her a Raglan sweater or anything, but I could get a few swatches and make a front and a back and a side, and I could stitch it up and give her a bit of like a smock dress or something. So that's something I'm going to do. That's a project that I'm going to do. He loved this. So, while I'm talking about this, I'll talk about this yarn. But I've got, of course, as we all do, I've got a ton of swatches, absolute ton. So and I keep them because I'm a bit sentimental like that. So I could pick out the ones that are interesting, and I'm going to make a little thing. It's a small, nothing project, but it's sweet. And one of my sons asked for that, so I'm very happy to do it. And she needs some clothes. Let's give her clothes in 2026. So I'm going to do that. And I thought she could sit with me if it doesn't freak anybody out. Some people get freaked out by dolls. She could sit with me while I podcast today. So that's one thing. Okay, while I'm talking about this swatch, so this is I did two swatches. I liked the tighter one. Don't ask me what. You can ask me because my system. So I have a system. I think I heard the lady from Knitting Traditions say this, if I understood her correctly. Anyway, my understanding was and if you're doing a stockinette, if you're doing something else, you might need something more complicated. But if you're just doing a stockinette swatch, you purl the number for the needle. So they are like here. I know that this is 1, 2, 3. This is 4. So I know that this was a 4 millimeter needle that I used. And if it's a 4.5, then you say 4 and then a dot and 5. pearls. So I think this was a 4, and then this was a 4.5. But the 4.5 is a bit too big. Oh no, is that true? Oh no, I'm getting confused. I mean, what I'm getting confused about is what I decided I would use. But sorry, the short story of this, because I'm just talking and talking like you understand what I'm saying. I have, these are just 2 skeins of it, but I have several more skeins of this ox blood red from a local yarn dyer that I happen to have befriended. And in fact, today's episode is dedicated to him, because really what I wanted to do was come on and talk about when we first met, and we met through the podcast. He wrote and he said hi, and we got to chatting, and he seemed really interesting. And then we met, and when we met for the first time, he arrived with this massive bag of yarn. He said, "This is for you." I said, "I can't take this. I can't take this." He said, "No, no, no, it's for you. It really is for you, and you must take it." So I did. Not so hard to convince someone to take yarn, hey. I did. And so I came home and I weighed it, and it was something like 7 kilograms of yarn that he'd given me. And he says there's plenty more where that came from. So one of the things is we're going to be talking about his yarn and the gifts, and kind of just welcoming them into my stash. I don't have a whole lot of yarn. I mean, well, with this gift, basically his gift, I mean, I would say even more than doubled my stash, because I have, all my yarn fits into one of those little boxes. But I'm just going to, awkward as it'll be, I had another one of these empty. And so this is where I've put some of his gift, because not all of it fit in a box. So it kind of, it sort of tripled my yarn stash, which was very generous. This I bought from him. Just want to say, it's not like I'm, this I bought. I actually asked him to dye it. I gave him some directions about the red I wanted, and voila. I'll be making a Lento sweater out of this. I'd made one before out of incredibly thick yarn. It must have been my second or so sweater. I didn't really know what I was doing. It actually turned out a nice sweater, but very snug, which is not really how I want to wear my sweaters. So I will be, in fact, I'll go and pull it up. I will be frogging that, I think. I mean, I could give it to someone, but I'll see if it fits a friend of mine. She's a bit bustier than me, but she's small. I don't know. I don't think it'll fit her. You need to give it to somebody who doesn't mind hand washing things and laying them flat to dry. That's the other thing. Otherwise, the thought of it being mangled, in its lifetime is hard to bear. So anyway, let me get that sweater for a complete story. Actually, no, I won't bother. So I just went to grab this. So this was the sweater I made. It was the Lento. Very simple pattern, right? It's a Raglan. Very sweet. It was the first time I did a double folded collar, and it was fairly non-eventful. Like, I found it straightforward, and it's the first time I did. There's some short row shaping at the back that I did, and so it's a really nice pattern, because I was a way beginner. I don't think I got the sleeves are short, the fit is tight, and because it's tight, and I think there's a bit of mohair in this yarn. It's an African Expressions, but it's their really big chunky yarn. I've forgotten the name. Maybe I'll put it up. But because I think it has some mohair, I don't like how it feels tight on my skin. Yeah, I love the color so much. Look at that. I just love that. Beautiful, beautiful, deep green. So I think I can, I don't know if it's going to be, I would hate to begin unraveling it and then it's awful and can't be unraveled and then I've ruined it. But I will try and unravel it. It was knit bottom up, so I would just start from the bottom. It was my first time doing a, what do you call that, tubular bind off, I think, and that's fairly perfectly fine. Such a nice object. I'm just looking now. So I'm in two minds whether to just give it to somebody, but it just needs to be someone that's going to take care of it. I'll think about it. Okay, so we'll decide. Let me just. So that's what that is, and I will make the Lento. Ironically, is actually meant to be made with quite a light, I think DK. This is sport weight, but I think it'll be fine. And I like the idea of doing something fairly at a very loose gauge, particularly in the weather. I think I could then wear it through the year, and I would enjoy it. And I really would love this color. I think this is going to be interesting. It's coming up. It's coming up in the video more pink than it is. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to see if there are ways for me to show more. It's got a bit more orange than is coming through on the camera. Definitely when you do that. It is hand dyed, so it also has variegation. Not variegation, you know what I mean? Like it. Yeah, like this is more the deep color. Anyway, it's lovely. And you'll see me doing that at some point or other. I am and seem to remain a monogamous knitter. I'm currently working on my Zukanya dress that's right over there. Knitting it with this beautiful Papyrus Fibra Natura yarn. Cotton and silk blend. So I will keep doing that. And I think I'll do that for the rest of the month. I don't think I will. Yeah, I think I will keep going. So some of these I will cast on in February, maybe mid-February, late February, March. And I think this is what is my next cast on, because I want to be able to wear it in these warm months on cool evenings, and then have it as we go into, what are we going to? We will go into autumn after summer. So that is that. What else? I'm just going to grab things as they are here. So it's going to be higgledy-piggledy. I have this bag of cotton yarns. It's a mixture. It's a bunch that I bought. I bought them feeling playful. These are eco cotton. They're lovely. And I was playful and ordering, and I ordered single colors. I didn't, with hindsight, it was silly, because what was I going to do with single skeins? So, predictably, I'm left with these single skeins of quite some beautiful colors. In my head, I was like, I want to see what these colors are when they arrive. Then once I know what they're like, I can order more of a certain color that I like. Well, the problem is I had ordered it thinking I would make garments with it, but I don't love, like I'm wearing my Tolster tee that is knit in fingering weight yarn. The company is called, I'm just trying to dredge it from the base of my memory. I can see it kind of written, Yarny Corner. And it's beautiful, 100% cotton, really wonderful yarn. And I actually like knitting garments with fingering, particularly in cotton. I know I'm doing the Sukanya dress in DK. I don't mind, but I just didn't like the thought of. I made my Sabai top in DK. It's perfectly fine. I don't know what's wrong with me, whatever. But for some reason, I don't know, I just didn't like, I thought it wasn't as finessed. So basically, I'm not going to make garments out of this in the end. And so I haven't ordered any more of whatever color. I mean, this one I love this color. I think it really suits my complexion. I like this blue, but I wouldn't wear it. It's a bit too pastel for me. I like this, of course. This is very similar to the Zukanya color. This is a wonderful color. This is, what do they call it? Glühwein. So it's this kind of aubergine, pale aubergine. And then the last one I had was this cobblestone, which is also very nice and very much my vibe. So I have 5 of these. And then I have, when I traveled to Kenya last year for a writing, what was it? Like a not conference, it's not the right word. Writing, oh goodness, it's just one of those nights. It's night, that's why. I've been up since a crazy hour. But festival. festival. That's the word I was looking for. The innocent word, festival. I came across an amazing place called Provisions Kenya, owned by two sisters. They make their own yarn. It's a locally produced Corriedale yarn. I bought some of that yarn and made a Vilma top, which I've talked a lot about. But I also bought some of their cotton. It's actually soft. To be fair, I feel it's softer, and you can see that it's got a very different ply. I don't know how, if I'm going to succeed in showing this, but it is true that this eco cotton ply, it's a very visible. I'm going to try. Let's see if we can do this. It's a very visible ply, right? You can see that. Now look at this one. Look at this one. It's really not as visible. It's a very different ply. Yeah? I'm just noticing that now. What does that mean? I don't know what I don't know what that means for me and I don't want to knit. I just thought I don't really want to make a garment out of this. It's beautiful. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Anyway, I don't really have enough of this. What did I get? I got these 3 colors. Again, I just kind of but not enough to make any one garment, right? Out of a single color. And I didn't want something patchy. Anyway, the point is I'm not feeling these cottons for garments. I'm not feeling it. So, what a long story. I would like to make items out of this. And actually, we have this big family trip coming up. We're going to spend time in Europe with the European side of the family. And it's going to be this massive, it's largely my husband's family and a lot of them, whom I love. But I thought I wanted to make something. I can't make for everybody. Like, they're literally going to be over 20 people in our little holiday plan. But I thought I would make for the women, just, as a gesture. So that would be my mom-in-law, her sister, my husband's daughter, her cousin. It might be 6. No, people. The party keeps growing. 7. I just forgot the party keeps growing. Okay, I may or may not do this. This is ambitious of me. Even my partner, when I said to him, he's like, okay, that's nice of you, but it's a bit. Nobody expects it. It's just me saying, it'd be nice to make everybody something. But I thought, small things. Like, I could make the Ribka pouch. I could make. I was thinking earlier, what could I make? I could find a nice bag pattern, and they're lovely colors. I think I could make some interesting things, and I think I'd have enough to make small things. If anyone listening has lovely small little patterns, I don't know everybody well enough to know what they would wear. Like, I wouldn't make a garment. Initially I thought, I'm going to make them all like mohair scarves. I don't even know if they'll wear it. I don't know their style. Now you make something, now they don't even wear it. You know what I mean? And some of the younger ones, like my partner's daughter and her cousin, they're like in their late teens. You don't know. They might think, oh my God, she has no idea of what's sexy or what's interesting. So I don't want to be the 45-year-old aunt or whatever, attempting to steer their fashion sense. So I thought a safe thing is just to make a small little accessory. As a woman, you've always got something. You've got your lip ice or your tube of lipstick and you can tuck it in a sweet little purse. And so this is a request. Yeah, I'm holding these up. These are really old balls of cotton that I bought long ago that I made blankets with, and I just have little scrappy bits left that I would tuck in somewhere. If you know, like, a sweet, kind of easy but quite lovely pattern for me, I'm thinking like a little makeup baggy purse pattern, but I don't want it to look too crafty, dowdy. I want it to look nice and elegant and be something. Yes, it's handmade, but it's lovely. And wait. Oh, wait. Yes, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. Let's do things properly. This was what I bought. I thought I also bought a blue. I don't know where it is. I did buy a blue. It wasn't this. This is what I have left over from my sub-buy top. I use this. It's this beautiful, soft Rowan Summer Light DK. It's so wonderful and soft. I wanted to see if they say the color here. I think it's Sailor Blue, but it, yeah, shade 00470. There you go. Made in Turkey. Very nice. So anyway, that gives you a sense. But if you have any recommended patterns, please let me know, because I would be really grateful. I would obviously go and do my Ravel research, but everybody gets different things. Or maybe I'll do like a kind of a, sorry about the crinkly crinks. I could do a search on, like just on Instagram, looking for inspiration. Okay, got through all of 2 ideas. Let's see, what do I have in here? Okay, this is the other balls. This is the other balls of yarn. Yeah, I'll hold it here because this is much, when I bring it like that, it must be one of the lights that's throwing it off. Like, that's totally wrong. That's wrong. Yeah, it must be this light here. If I hold it here, it's closer to what it actually is. I'm just getting other ones to see if it's, okay, anyway, that's what this bag is. And there's a bunch of stuff, and this is the needle I used to do the swatch. Okay, so what else? I'm kind of doing random stuff before I go into that. So, this would be interesting to talk about. Okay, so this I have talked about here before, but I don't think I'd caked up. This is this wonderful yarn that I bought when I was going for a work trip to Paris. And I went to, I've forgotten the store now, but one of the stores. And I got this Atelier Lent d'Europe. Very sweet little band. And I'm not going to, but it's fingering. I've got 800 meters of it, which of course is not enough for what I really wanted to do with it. But I mean, first of all, can we just appreciate this color? This is like burnt orange color. Now it's pretty rugged. I wanted to make the pattern by In Her Skein. I think her name is Marielle. I might be wrong. And she's a really lovely designer. I like her things. They always have this kind of an elegance and a prettiness that's quite sweet. And her latest design, which I bought, is called let's look here. It's called, my mind is not working tonight. Thank you, mind. It is called here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. My computer's also very slow. Just to keep things interesting. Let's go to the library. It's called the Petali Slipover. Very sweet. There's a picture of it. I would love to make this in that. I guess her coloring impacted me, but and I'll make the slipover. Now, I don't have enough. So I pulled this. Now, this is a yarn from my very kind benefactor. This is one of the yarns he gave, actually. And you know what I just realized? It's not fingering. Oh, no. Oh, sorry. Oh, a couple of things. Sorry. It would have been enough if the pattern was in fingering, but it's not. The pattern is DK. So I'd have to hold these 2 together. Now, one thing I realized, if I wanted it a bit loose gauge, maybe I could get away with knitting it as if it's DK. I know that's tricky. I haven't swatched. It's toothy yarn, and I imagine it's going to, I don't know, actually, let me not say I imagine. It might plump up, but it might not. I need to gauge swatch. But if I found that I didn't have enough, I could do something like that. And what I would do, if you look at the pattern, I think I could pull it off. It's knit sideways, and they have these bands in the arms, and I could make the bands out of something slightly darker. And I think that could be fun. I wouldn't mind that. There's no way, I don't have any means of getting more of this. And, the joke's on me. I'm always playing yarn chicken and, buying as little yarn as possible, particularly like you don't want to spend more money than you have to. But I'm so happy with this purchase and with the color, and I bought the pattern, really excited to make this, and I will, I'll get to it at some point. Okay, so that's that. Da, 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 da. I have talked about this before, but since it's right here, we can chat about it. This is this beautiful yarn that I bought. I'm going to make the Cozy Silk Classic cardi. This is Naughty Habit DK Merino. It's so beautiful. It's so, so beautiful. I also got a super dark one, just a normal, but still quite a wonderful dark color. Oh, this is funny. I just need to say, I'm knitting the Cozy Classic. Oh, what is it? Cozy Classic Raglan. This is the third or fourth time I've attempted to cast on. So I put it away. You can see that this is just frustration. I just put it away. I was just like, I'm just going to work on my zucchini. I'll get to this and I'll work it out. The cast on, she has two options. You could do a tubular cast on, and I, me being me and never wanting to stress myself if I don't have to, I was like, if I can skip it, I will. And she gives you the option to skip it. But each time, maybe my gauge is off. The neck always ends up, it's too small. That's never going to fit over my head for the size that I'm knitting. So the cast on that she wants for the pattern, obviously, is a stretchy cast on, that tubular cast on or stretchy cast on, what's she called? It's very stretchy, she says. So I think I must just learn it and do it. Here's the other one. So you see there's a slight variation there. And I'll just play around and I'll do helical knitting and it'll be this kind of lovely, really, it's such beautiful yarn and I'm really looking forward to working with it, but I thought I could, be sophisticated and cast it on. No, I couldn't. Okay, so I'm kind of doing all of those and then we'll end with the grand finale. I hope it's okay to do it that way. I will put timestamps for anybody who's annoyed that I'm not just getting to it. Okay, so I think we're here. So now, let me check my notes. Drum roll. Okay, random things. I'm going to make a bunch more Ashburns. I have the yarn stashed away, like it's scraps yarns, and I'm going to make, I know who I'm making it for. There are like 3 or 4 more friends of mine this year I'd love to make Ashburns for. I'd love to make Ashburns for all my female friends eventually. But yeah, I got to pace myself. The other thing I would love to make, maybe even from this cotton, not this particular color, that wouldn't be right for me, but like I want to make some hairbands. My hair is, as you can see, I don't know if it's working. If it's working, what I've done here, I've used pins to try and give myself a full mohawk. But the hair is kind of growing and the afro isn't working for me. I think I have a better look when the sides are short or like the whole hair is held a bit. So I thought I need a few hair accessories. Maybe the only other thing I wanted to say is I will be recording a knit and chat. I'm going to talk about my 3 whips. I kind of have 3 whips. I have the Kanye, I have this annoying whip that I need to master, and I have my Jupiter mesh tank that is this mohair. There's a little picture of this mohair jumper, my first mohair jumper. That's from a free pattern that I've kind of messed around with and made it colorful. But I will talk about, so it's 3 whips and 3 reads, which are the 3 books that I've read so far. I wouldn't say this year. The 2 of them I read in December or end of December during my holiday. And we'll do a little knit and chat and it'll be a very booky chat. So I'm looking forward to recording that. And then the only other random thing is I really want to learn brioche this year. And I want to be taught by the brioche ninja, Ava Hancocks, whom I interviewed. And she's a local designer. She goes by the name The Crafty Geo. But she's really talented at brioche, and a lot of her designs are brioche, basically. And she does lessons at different times through the year. I have to keep my eye because I guess they advertise them, and then you don't want to miss it. So, okay, that's a little bit about my plans. I know it's messy. Thanks for bearing with me. This is a bit of a chatty, all over the place episode, and I hope that's okay. If you're working on something exciting, you wouldn't mind listening to me natter on while you do so. The big gift of yarn, I would divide I kind of have divided into 4 sections. I'm only going to talk about 2 of those 4 sections. What are the 4 sections? There was a lot of quite lovely acrylic yarn, really soft, really beautiful. The colors were wonderful, and they were my sort of colors. And I thought, ooh, I could do things with this. I could make accessories. I could also make things for my kids, toys, blah, blah, blah. So I put those somewhere. I'm not talking about those today. There were also like other acrylics that I thought, okay, not quite my colors, but really interesting. I could practice on them. I could use them for a scrap yarn. I could gift them to someone else. I really want to, I'd love the idea of holding knitting circles, just open circles that people could come and strangers could gather, and we have a circle, and it's therapeutic in some way, but it's obviously not formalized. I don't have any qualifications as a therapist or anything like that. But I think in my experience of knitting, there's just something so profoundly healing, and particularly around grief. So I have this dream of holding these circles maybe in the park, and if I had lots of spare yarn, I could bring it, and people could pick and choose. And so I put that stash somewhere for that long-term project. I don't even know when I would ever find the time, but it's one of my dreams. Okay, and then the other 2 sections are, so those are the acrylics divided into 2. Ones that I would use for kind of the group project. Ones that I think I would use myself. They're quite lovely for accessories and maybe for stuff for my kids and gifts. And then the other section is natural yarns. And animal fiber. I don't think there were no cottons. Yeah, animal fiber, mostly merino, but not only. And those 2 divisions there are sort of commercial yarn that I guess he's gifted me, that he's bought, and I'm going to go over these with you now. And then his dyed yarn, which was also glorious. So I'm going to do the commercial yarns first. I mean, some of them just have no labels. I think he said this is cowgirl blue. So a lot of these are cowgirl blues. So I'm gonna just, yeah, I mean, look at these colors. They're just out of this world. I think it's Barbara Streisand, but I might be wrong. Cowgirl blues has I can't even talk. Some of the labels are like singers. I know they have Celine Dion, Barbara Streisand. I think they have Brenda Fassie, I think, I might be wrong, which is a amazing South African singer. And then he's got the DK, in the solid colors, that's the same one. He's got, oopsie, some of them are, is this the same one? Yeah, that's the same one. Okay, so in the solid colors, he has these 3. And this is DK weight merino, 100 grams. This is plum. This one, the label is fallen off, but it is rose. And this is African violet. Quite striking. I don't know what I'll do with these. So I might not wear this, for instance. Oh my goodness, am I gonna really wind yarn in public? I'm not very good at it, as you can see. But I wanted to restore this one to some semblance of decency. There you go. That's not bad. I don't know. I guess I could. I'm not a. Like I'm a bit of a minimalist, which is a problem because eventually, maybe not this year, but soon enough, I'll have enough knits, and then I'll have to find excuses to knit more things. And so like I don't need 5 scarves. I have 2 scarves that I've made. A dark one, a light one. I mean, okay, I have a shawl. I'm looking at my Ashburn shawl. I guess I could make an Ashburn shawl. I think she has a DK version. Could I do an Ashburn shawl? But for the Ashburn shawl, you just need 300. You need 3 colors, which is what I have. So I could do an Ashburn shawl with that. Or a different shawl. I'm not somebody who's like, oh, yet I'm going to make another scarf. And I don't wear a whole lot of beanies. I just find that this yarn is not great for my hair. I mean, maybe I should make a beanie for just in case when I travel overseas and I need a beanie. I don't know. But there you go, guys. what to do with that. Again, suggestions. Very open to suggestions. I'm not in a rush. I think, yeah, we'll get to this. The plum I really like. I love that dark. And I mean, the combo of these would be interesting. I'm not a big purple woman. My son would love me to do something, but this, I mean, that's quite a look already. Imagine like that for me is a wonderful combo. Two of these and one of these, and I did. What would I do? I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, so that's showing you that, and then I have these Woolcraft. So this, and these are mohair merino and polyamide, and it's these really cute. What do they call that kind of? It's not. It doesn't. It's not full boucle. I think boucle is even more frilly like than this, but it's boucle-esque, which I've never worked with, and which is really cute, very very cute. And it's this. Yeah, that's about the color there. And it's Woolcraft. It says. So there's that. Nothing is coming to me just yet about what to do with these. And that's fine. It'll come eventually. It could be gifts. Through the years, something comes to mind to make for someone. I mean, this is something. This is a massive skein. I don't know how I'll have to weigh it. I just love the different tones in it. I wouldn't know what to make with this. I'm not used to variegated yarn, and so one thing I would say, I'm not somebody who buys lots of yarn. It is wonderful having a bit more yarn in the house, and I've noticed that I've made more gifts. I've made more things for myself, just because it's there and you look and you think, oh, maybe I can, so there's a way. I remember, who was it talking about yarn? Like, it's a bit like having paint if you're an artist. It's material for your creativity. So if you have it around, you begin to dream and feel inspired. Whereas if you don't have it around, like, I have to order. It's a kind of different vibe. I have appreciated what it means to just have a little bit of yarn. It doesn't have to be, I don't have to go crazy. But sorry, that sounds like I'm being judgy if somebody else, buys lots of yarn. But I'm saying, me personally, I've always felt nervous about having all this yarn. And now I have quite a bit of yarn, and it's nice. It is nice. I'm not gonna lie. It's nice. Okay, let's put that back in this bag. Oh no. Oh gosh. Oh no, I left out a key. Reveal. This is. Oh my God. This is Malabrigo, which I know of, and I've just never afforded. I've just never, it is sold in my local yarn store at Arthur Bale. And whenever I go, I just walk past the Malabrigo. It's in this beautiful wooden box. I love Arthur Bale is just like this old, they're really nice because they have this beautiful old kind of cabinets. And the Malabrigo is in this tall cabinet. The colors, there's a blue that I always see. Every year I go, there it is. Just like, oh, that looks so nice. But for me, it feels pricey because I would buy a sweater's quantity. Like, what am I going to do with it? But anyway, this thing is softer than soft, and it says Archangel 850, no dye lot, it says, and it's silk alpaca, and that's the story. Made in Peru, and utterly beautiful. So it's lace. So here's what I thought. Because of the silk quantity, how much is the silk? Silk is really good for my hair because it doesn't dry it out. So at least some silk is better than no silk. And I have more silk up in my little yarn stash that I ordered and dyed. And I dyed it, and it's a kind of a gray blue. I dyed it with black beans. And what if I held those two together or dyed that darker, like into a black? That would be nice. Actually, I would dye it into a black. It's not strong enough for me with the black beans. and held it with this and made myself a few headbands, like very simple, not a plaited band. I'm just putting it there for fun, but like a found some sweet patterns and made a headband, or 3 or 50 or whatever. It looks like a lot, but that's a plan that I have for this. Okay, so this is all the bag with the kind of commercial yarns. Let's put that there for now, and then drum roll. We have, let me see if I can show you in one go. Excuse me, in one go. I'm going to hold it like a harvest. Oopsie. I think of this as a heart. It just feels like this is how he gave it to me. Oh, okay, it's falling everywhere. I wanted to hold it in one go and let you guys see it. Like this. Okay, I mean, gosh, look at that, guys. It's so generous. I mean, it's kind of unbelievable. I'm respecting his privacy and not mentioning his name or saying anything more about our connection, because he's a private guy and I respect that. But what a gift. I was deeply moved, and we've become really friendly since, and we're constantly in touch. And he knits and crochets and, super talented and dyes yarn. Sorry that there's a little bit of crinkiness going on. So how to start, where to start. Let's start with this. I mean, I'm not a big pinky, although pink isn't, not because it doesn't work for me, but just, I don't know, I have an aversion to pink. My dear son, one of my sons, mad about pink. And for sure, since he's come into my life, I've softened about pink. And also this is just beautiful. Look at all the way the color is in and out. I love stuff like that. So I have this massive skein of this. I'm kind of keeping it for one of my sons because I think he would want something from this because it's so much his color. And he's asked me to make him a vest. I think and I realize now he likes my Vilma top. And I think he'd like me to make him a Vilma top. Oh my God. I mean, I would do anything for that boy, but I just feel like the thought of making something that intricate, and like I know he'll wear it. He's somebody who, when he says he wants something, it's because he loves it, and he will wear that thing till he cannot wear it anymore. But the problem is they're growing so fast, my kids, and I just, the thought of making this intricate little Vilma, and then he, unless I make a really massive one, not massive, you know what I'll do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the one I made on him and see how it is. Maybe with the vest you can get away with it because it goes on over other clothes. And I don't know if it's, this is DK, I imagine. And if some of the adult sizes are fine for him, I will knit that. And then I hope he likes pink for the rest of his life, and I hope he wears pink for the rest of his life. But I always worry that the world will dissuade him from wearing pink as a guy. But even if he ended up not wanting to wear pink anymore, we could dye it black, right? So I'll think about that. But I don't know if I even have enough, but we'll see. Anyway, pink. So there's that. Let's look at these two. Okay. So this is funny. I had 2 skeins of this. I've already used one. I used one for several of the Ashburns I was doing. It's really nice for the Ashburn. I think it's very nice for a shawl. And so I will probably weave it into some of the Ashburns I want to make. I mean, look at these colors. It's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This is fingering weight. And then this is also fingering weight. And my same son has spotted this. Now he loves bling, so pink and bling. And so he spotted that, and he actually said this is what he wants me to make the vest out of. But it's not enough, I don't think. It's fingering yarn, but I'll make something for him out of this at some point. It's quite lovely. Quite lovely. So all of this is merino, and then I guess with this, is that called stellina? And I'm not sure if my friend put his own stellina in, or so the yarn had the stellina. I'm not sure, but it's got this twinkle. What else? Let me show you. Oh goodness, let me show you these two. These two are so interesting, I find. Look at that. Look at this thing. So while I'm showing you this, let me talk about what I think, because it's kind of overwhelming, because I'm like, I really want to knit with this. I don't know what. So I would like to make another Cosy, classic silk open cardi. I made it with fingering yarn. I'm pointing there because that's where it is on my bed. I wore it today. I made it with fingering yarn. It's not the right yarn weight to make it with, but I made it work. It was a very early project. I was new. I didn't know that was important, so I didn't care. You know, it's like beginner's luck. It came out fine, but it's got a lot of mistakes in it and holes, and it's a seamed garment. It's very nicely shaped, and I never got the shaping right on either side because I didn't have the right gauge. You know what I mean? So it should be knit on DK. I'd like to make it with DK yarn. And so I wonder if I could find that here somewhere. I don't know. Look at this. I think this is the purple heart. I mean, it does feel like I'm holding a heart, and the color helps. But look at that. Just, what a color, right? It's very much my color. I love this deep wine. I guess you'd call this like real deep wine color. It looks like a lot. It probably isn't enough for a whole cardigan, or is it? It's DK, or is it worsted even? Okay, it's probably worsted. It's worsted. This must be worsted. Wait, so probably too thick. I haven't swatched with any of these, but there's a thing I could make something with. I mean, this would make a wonderful scarf. This would make a wonderful scarf. Maybe I'll go on to Pearl Soho, because they have such nice and they're free patterns. And I think this seems to me to be worsted. It looks a bit thick for... Maybe I'm wrong. I'll ask. I can ask him. He did say if you have any questions, just let me know. But there's this. So, but because there's a lot of... There's also this. Let me just show you this set. I put these together. I mean, look at how delightful that is. So I put these together. I mean, maybe one could, these kind of all could, this one's a little, I don't know if I'm brave enough for that pink, and I don't know where it'll show up, but, oh, there's a bit more there as well, which is fine. But these look like a family, like an interesting family that goes, this one goes in and out, but, so I mean, I could make, I'd need to weigh it, but could that be enough to make... With something like this, you just make a plain sweater because it's going to be mottled. You know, you don't want to make anything with cables, and at least I don't think. Just very simple. I could make another, because this is DK. Actually, you know what I thought I could make? I have made the tough sweater before. I've made two. I made one for my husband, and I made one for the youngest of the three older kids. And I've always wanted to make myself one, but I knew I didn't, you know, both of them I made in plain, like blue. But I mean, that would make an interesting tough sweater, really cozy, comfy, and like throw on and fun. So maybe, but I don't know if I have enough. What else can I show you? There's also, so there's kind of that bank of colors, but they're meshed and mottled. I'm going to put it in the bag so I don't go. And sorry, just to say, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skeins here. Could that be enough? DK, 5 skeins. I presume they're 100 grams. I would weigh them, and I would have to, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? I would have to swatch, obviously. So, but then there's this. There's this bank of yarns. These are, again, our reds. I think he's got quite a bit of talent when it comes to red. They're not all exactly the same red. This one is coming a little undone. Should I attempt a rescue? Ooh. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, gosh. It does seem, and this seems, is it DK? I think that's worsted. I think it's a little thicker than DK. Let's see here. Oh. So I'm not very good at this. Some people have machines. That's better than nothing, I think. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. So you have these kind of quite orangey in times, red, slightly deeper, going a little deep there. There are 4 skeins in this time, and yeah, what to do with that? So let's see. Let me show you the last few things I have, and then I'm going to talk to you about other ideas I have of what to do. So the second to last show. So look at, geez, look at these colors. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this. And then look at these greens. Sort of thinking of my sweater, right? It's over here. This green really works for me. This is even, yeah. So, sorry, my hair's itching me. So again, I'm left with no one thing. I think that's what I realized. No one thing might make a full garment. Maybe this batch would give me a full garment. I'll check. I'll swatch and check. Again, this is going to keep me busy for half the year, which is wonderful. The last I said is this. This was just, this is how sweet the guy, like when I bought this, he just threw this in for laughs. And he said he was working on some new colors, and he had this, and I love it. It's this kind of deep brown. And I've actually been looking for brown because I don't really have anything brown. And initially I thought, oh, well, I am brown, so maybe I shouldn't wear brown. But that's not true. I think brown is really fabulous. But I just have one. Not just, but like I have one. So here's what I was thinking, and I'm going to open my computer to talk about this. I was thinking that maybe I do a patchwork project too. And I went, how is it that I hadn't fully understood the wonderful ways in which you can use the save button on Instagram? I'm always late to things. But I went onto Instagram, and I'm going to show these images as I talk about them. And I started just looking at some patchworks, and I got a bunch. So, this one is lovely because I love how the whole body is one color, and it's like the arms that are kind of messing around. And what I would do is I would take a basic pattern like the toff, and I would just, I guess it's in Tasha we start doing here. It's a little bit of self-drafting, which is something I've wanted to get into, so it's a good, I've never done it Tasha, but it's you change the yarn and you make sure that it doesn't leave a hole, I guess. This one is, this one's fun. I wouldn't do it cropped. I'd do it full, and I'll do my own pattern, right? So I wouldn't do the V-neck. I don't really do V-necks, but what I liked about this one was the kind of the bands of the arm. The arm is in these bands. So I thought that was a fun one as well. Like in comparison to the first one, that's a bit more, gentle in the way the arms do their own thing. This one is like just bands, and would be it's easy to self draft that. I guess I decide what the bands. I mean, she's done some bands with even color work, like slip stitch and full on. I don't know if the other one there is like two-stranded color work, which I've never done, so I may not go there. But even just changing colors that way, and then of course the visible seam she's done there. I don't know if I do the visible seam. It's a bit patchy for me. This one I liked. I mean, I'm the least person who's interested in wearing a flag on my arm, so forget the flag. But I just liked, yeah, it feels like you're wearing a quilt, and I liked that element of it. It looks fairly complicated. I'd have to think about. I would have to really self-draft my own pattern, but maybe that's a nice long project for me when winter comes, to actually draft something, to draw it, and I could put my own cultural motifs in it, and yeah, I have all the colors in the world that I need here. This was nice. I thought it's all in mohair, so that it wouldn't be the mohair that I'm replicating, because I'm not going to go out and buy more yarn. I'll be using this, and I mean, look at, I'm thinking, like, if you start thinking of the kind of colors I would use, right, you can start to see how interesting this could be. It's going to be really nice, and it could be patchy. I don't mind it being patchy, but I want it to have some elegance to it. So this one was nice. This is really just stripes. I mean, I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying that that's what the color is doing. It's kind of stripes. But there is some intarsia, I think, within the stripes, because that's how you get the line in the middle. I'm not very knowledgeable, just so if you're watching and you realize it's something else and I'm wrong, don't be shy to let me know. I don't mind being corrected. But I thought this was very beautiful, and I loved the wide array of colors that this person or the maker managed to get into the sweater. But look at this now. Now this is also what I loved about this. I love the long cuffs. I'm a big fan of long cuffs because I love ribbing so much. And that's something you can just amend any pattern, to get the long cuffs. And this is like 3x2 ribbing or something, really kind of bold ribbing. I like that it's quite regular. The squares it's just like it's these 3 and 3. Maybe the back is the same. A little bit of, I see that there's a tiny bit of cabling at the top there. And then the sleeves. And she's done like patchwork, and she's written stuff. So I would love to write something. I was thinking, I thought about this. I really wanted to write Iya. Iya is the word for mother in Yoruba. So Iya is a word I wanted to write. What else have I thought I wanted to write? Or Iya Beji, which means mother of twins. Or Ibeji, which means twins. I don't know. These are beautiful words in the Yoruba language. And then she has I'm not a big heart person, but I think it is quite sweet that she's kind of patched on. You patch on the patch. So I love the layering of that. Look, I don't know how hard this would be. This one's kind of cool. This one is really, it's a bunch of squares. I wonder if she made all the squares and then seamed it. No, that would be really, no, I don't think that's it. I think it's in Tasha, but I love that it's very regular. It's the square, same shape, same size, very regular, but then it's all over the place because every single square is different. I like that. I really think it's time for me to have something like this in my life. This is really nice. This one is really nice. You can't see everything about it, but it's, again, the patches. It's fisherman's rib. Okay, it looks like it's fisherman's rib. I kind of just liked it. This is lovely, and the picture is really cool. But what's nice is, so this is I wouldn't do a I don't know why I don't want to do a cardigan, because I feel like, I don't know why I feel in my head the cardigan makes it frumpy, whereas if it's a jumper, like if it's a sweater, it's a bit more held together and not kind of drooping everywhere. I don't know. So that the being in sweater form gives it elevates it a little bit. I don't know if that's true. The same way that if you made it slightly tight, it would elevate it a bit than if you just made it frumpy. But I could be wrong. This is cute. I love the wide sleeves. This is nice. This is a mixture of things. I think it's a mixture of fabric, and I just thought it was nice. I just put it in. I don't think I'm going to go crazy with cables and so on, but it was a nice example. So yeah, I mean, anyone out there done any patchwork? I think that's what lies in my future. So I think, just to recap, I think I would see if I could make, although that's a lot of toffs that I'll end up making. I mean, maybe I should just focus on the patchwork if that's something that I really want, which it is. In which case I will, I mean, I think these are all really the same. And that patchwork was going to give me lots of scraps afterwards. But let's see. And then, I'd be patching with these single skeins that I have. This, I think I am going to attempt to do a scarf with this. I just suddenly saw it and I thought, oh, that'll make a nice scarf. And so, okay, I'll have 3 scarves. I can be very austere with myself about things. I can have 3 scarves, it's okay. And then I'll try, and what I'll do when I'm ready, I mean, I'm not going to rush this. In terms of the order of, I'm going to finish my zucchini. I think I'm going to cast on the Lento, and I will cast on the classic Cosy Raglan. Those are the more priorities. And then this could be a really nice, long, leisurely project, drafting my my patchwork sweater. Oh yeah, I'll work on this quite quickly as well. This is lovely. I will work on that. That's the Petali Slipover. And then it'll be the patchwork. The trip with family is in July, so sometime between now and then I will try and make cute little things for people. I would like to pitch up with some little gifts for people. And yeah, that's it. That's really me. Thank you. Thanks for listening. I hope that you've been working on something as you've been listening. Oh, where did my friend go? Oh dear, she fell over. Let's bring her back in. Let's bring her back into the fold. Oh, she's looking away. Let's have a look. There you go. So I hope that you've been working on something, or just being leisurely and crafting as you watch. Yes, please let me know if you have any patchwork patterns for me that you think are, I've got to try or at least have a look. Please let me know if you have any ideas for sweet little kind of purses or whatever for family members, people you're not sure will wear knits, or not sure of their style, you don't know well enough. And I'll be making it out of cotton. And what else? Yeah, just say hi in general if you want to. Thanks so much for being here and being a support to this space. I really do appreciate it. I think I'm planning a listener whom I've actually had the pleasure of meeting. I may as well say her name since you will meet her soon. Sonia volunteered to be the next person that I can do the next 12 questions with the 36 questions that lead to love. So we're going to do that. We're going to do a live stream. We will find a nice venue. I'm busy confirming it. And I will advertise it. But also I always will post it anyway if you miss the live stream. Of course, the live stream is fun. But if you miss it because the timing is not quite right, I will edit it a little bit and post it again as an episode. So that is, I'm working away in the background on that. What else am I working away in the background on? On my vlog for the zucchini dress. And yes, I want to do that knit and chat, talking about the 3 books I read. The books are Blood's Inner Rhyme by Anki Kroch, Mother Mary Comes to Me by Arundhati Roy, and Raising Hair by Chloe Dalton. Okay, I have some ways to go before I can do a book chat about this, but as soon as I'm done, I will do a knit and chat and talk about the 3 books. Okay, that's all for now. Thank you so much for being here. Go well, happy making, take care, and see you soon. Cheers.